Hello and welcome to That Quiz Over There, where we ask each other 5 questions, don't know what we're going to be asked, about our RV life, before RV life, after RV life. Could be anything. Getting more insight into how each of us thinks about RV life. So, Aaron, do you want to start off?
I'll start.
Whoa. Oh my goodness.
Okay, first question. What's your favorite meal I've made in the RV?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You're on the spot.
Can I say HelloFresh?
You can, because I think people should know that you can cook HelloFresh in an RV.
It's fair. I think probably when you started making tacos,
Yeah.
that was like my favorite. Tacos. Always tacos.
All right. Okay. Good.
All right. What or how did you envision our RV travel life to look like before we went full time?
Well, I thought that it would be a little easier, not so much work.
Okay.
Meaning having to find water and electricity. I thought we'd come out on the road and we would, I don't know. I knew nothing about RVs before we came out on the road. I'd never been in an RV, let alone live in an RV. For some reason, I was like, oh, we'll have electricity and water. And I did envision, boondocking and being in these amazing areas. It didn't register what that entails.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I think we both didn't quite understand what RV life was going to be like. Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
All right. What's something you thought would be easy, but turned out to be hard, difficult?
I mean, I think like RVing in general, I thought would be like easier.
Yeah.
But and it is relatively easy. I mean, it's not like it's hard or daunting, but like it's a little frustrating because you just need like the basics.
Yeah.
We need water, gas, propane, and to dump, right?
Right.
Basically.
And they can be a challenge sometimes.
And it can be really hard to find that stuff. Or, you have to travel to it.
Yeah.
So like even a 1-hour travel day turns into like 6.
Right.
And it's just like, it can be really frustrating when you just need like the basics and you can't get the basics.
Yeah.
So, I think like just understanding that those kind of like errands, those kind of like required things you need to do are like can be difficult and it can be frustrating.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Oh, your turn, right?
No, it's your turn.
Right. Your turn to answer.
Yes.
Name one regret you have about going full time.
really the only regret is that, you know, maybe I didn't have a job going into this, and you know,
I think that's probably a regret of mine too, is like
Yeah.
we should have planned a little bit better
Yeah.
to make income.
yeah,
I mean, eventually I did get a job,
yeah,
but like, it would have been better. But honestly, I think we were still figuring out RV life.
yeah,
To then work remotely
right, would be
as well
too
as going full
difficult.
time
Yeah.
was really difficult, and also
Yeah.
we hadn't figured out the internet thing yet.
right.
Didn't have any hot like
Yeah.
physical hotspots. We
Yeah.
just had our phones.
I guess that would add to your answer earlier. Remember, we used to have to try to find cell service.
Oh God, that was so awful.
Now we have the Starlink. We don't have to.
That's
worry about
actually a really good point.
that. Yeah.
Because like it was super stressful. I'd be
Yeah.
like driving with my phone and the two hotspots and like trying to find a spot that would like wasn't terrible but also had cell service,
Yeah.
or so that hotspot could get the cell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and now we don't even have to
No.
worry about that anymore.
We just have to look up to see if there's space.
That's right.
All right.
Starlink, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So my regret is I wish I was better on the computer
Okay.
before we did this. All right. What's a fear you had that you don't have anymore as far as being on the road?
Oh,
Being on the road fear that now that you're on the road, you don't have that fear anymore.
I had a huge fear when we got on the road of crashing and burning.
Yeah.
Like basically, like the rig breaks down and we have nothing and we can't fix it, and or it's beyond repair, and we're just like now like homeless.
Right. So fair enough. I could see being scared of that.
And actually, like, as we like got more and more time under our belts, like that fear definitely went away.
Yeah.
But it came back during Mexico. There we go. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If something happens down here, like,
Yeah.
one, like, who's going to fix it?
Yeah.
How do we find somebody we can trust? We
Yeah.
don't speak the language.
Yeah.
It would be the same thing if something catastrophic happened up here. Like, you don't know who you can trust
Yeah.
to work on your home. So,
But at least you speak the language.
yes, exactly. So I think crashing and burning for sure. And it came back during Mexico. I was grateful to be across the border. We did get an oil change. We had Steve, Mary's friend Steve, look over our rig, and he says it looks great. And I'm just still a little tentative about it, but it's holding up well. So
I remember driving around in the RV and just being stressed out, like, what's,
Yes.
like,
What is that noise?
right. And now it's like,
I know, bumps. Remember,
Right.
like
yeah,
going over like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, this road is washboard.
Right.
Now we're just like,
right, yeah.
you should have seen the road we drove on to get out of where
Yeah.
we were camped and then to get in
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. What are 3 things you would change about our rig, the RV,
Mhm.
which we call Hightower? What are 3 things you would change?
What would I change on a little high tower? Well, I'd love to have a plug and play installed.
So plug and play meaning a thing that you plug in a solar panel out here and you can just put it in the sun
Yeah.
and expand our
Yeah.
solar panel array.
Yes, because right now we just have it, connected to our roof, so we sort of have to be parked
In
in
sun.
a certain manner to get solar.
That's true.
Plug and play, you can plug in, find your sun.
Absolutely.
Park in shade and find sun. I'd love just a big.
Solar. Plug and play.
Okay.
Keeping count.
I'd love, a bigger water tank, holding tank.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the only thing that really pushes us out of our spots is water. We have to get water.
Yeah.
So more water, the longer we could potentially stay if we wanted to do so.
Good answer.
And man, a freezer, a bigger freezer.
That's very interesting that you
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
Why a bigger freezer?
Well, or maybe fridge altogether. But we buy a couple items and it's like impossible to fit in there.
That's
You
true.
buy a pizza, and it's game over right there. How you're not going to fit much else in there, So
That's why we're making our own pizza.
yes,
And it's really good. Okay. Those are good answers.
Good?
Yeah.
all
It's
right.
good.
Do you have anything that you would
Oh,
bigger space probably?
yeah, bigger bed.
Yeah, bigger bed. Yeah.
I miss my king size bed that we
Yeah.
had.
Okay, good. All right. What's been your biggest adjustment to RV life from our former life?
I mean, I guess space, right? Like coming from like a large 2 bedroom with plenty of space for all three of us to
Yeah.
like a small, I think I did the math. I think it's like 200 square feet or something like that. Like it's for you, me, and Pam, it is very small. So that is a big adjustment.
Your turn.
Okay. What is one place we have not visited yet that you really want to see and or experience?
Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Oh
I
yeah.
think about that a lot.
Yes.
Even before we got on the road, I remember watching RVers be up, and I was like, I'm gonna go there, and we haven't made it up there yet. It's sort of an awkward place to get to, I guess. It's not really on the way to anything.
You got to be going to the
Yeah.
UP. Like
Yeah.
you can't just be like, "Oh, I happen to be in the UP." Like
Right.
we
Yeah.
happen to be in Nevada all the time.
Right. Exactly.
We happen to be in Arizona all the
Yeah.
time, but like the UP is different. You have to
Yeah.
want to go there. But I think we should definitely go
Yeah.
there. Just the camping
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah. It looks great.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think mine would be Alaska.
Yeah.
I really, really want to go to Alaska. One day.
That's another one where you don't just like, whoops, I'm in
No,
Alaska.
no. Well, one, you have to cross the
Yeah.
foreign border, but yeah. Okay, cool.
All right, my turn. Has it all been worth it?
Of course.
Of course.
I think it's really changed the trajectory of our lives in a very meaningful way. I also find myself being more creative, more open to alternative ways of like living, making money, doing things, trying to be much more mindful of where I spend my money, how we spend our money, and then also like it's just opened us up to like this whole country where we were very unfamiliar with a lot of it. I think we're much more aware of what the world really is like as opposed to just maybe New York and Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's just like I've done things that I never would have done.
Mhm.
I mean, the hiking and the exploring and all that stuff I think has just been amazing and spectacular, and I can't wait to do more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, look, we're on the top of a mountain in Prescott, Arizona on a Wednesday afternoon. Like, it's so wild that this kind of life is available.
yeah, that's a really good point. Yep. And I'm so grateful to people like Carolyn's RV Life.
Who's that? Oh, I don't know.
For me just stumbling upon her videos and becoming inspired, and so much so that we actually did it.
Yeah.
Like it was something that I always wanted to do, but I didn't know it was a real possibility until I discovered that side of YouTube, which is great. So yeah. Awesome.
All right, one more
for you. Okay, here we go. Out of all the places we've traveled, where would you want to settle down? And it could be a state, a city, or a country.
I would say, well, my favorite state for camping is Idaho. All the rivers and the lakes and the trees and the mountains and the hills, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that would just be I think that would be a great place to settle down. Also, maybe like northern New Mexico, northern Arizona,
Like Taos.
Nevada. Yeah,
Taos
absolutely.
would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Somewhere that's like really rich in, views and
Yes.
landscapes and outdoor activities.
Yes. Yeah. I would say rich in culture. Idaho isn't necessarily.
Let's not talk about that.
But, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many different you have like the lush national forest, and then you have the desert, and and then you have the rivers, and
along 21.
Yeah, there's so much good camping and cute
Yeah.
little towns, and just like the views are spectacular.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'm not talking like I would just be in some normal neighborhood. I mean,
No.
Secluded with our own creek that goes by or something like that. You know what I mean?
Own plot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without neighbors.
Yeah.
Ideally, so.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah. Is that it?
I think that's
Did we
it.
answer all the questions?
I think we answered all the questions.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us for that quiz over there. We will see
I
you
wrote mine
next
upside
week.
down.